I admit, I regret my vote for Donald Trump.
Never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote. I voted for Trump.
So the farmers in America, they lost all their workers because they got deported. And then they voted for Trump. They voted for Trump. And then they lost a lot of the grants because this guy Musk has been, cleaning out and he's taking from the poor. The farmers can't pay their bills. They're having to sell. And J.D. Vance set up a company so that he could buy farms.
Good morning, American citizens. Okay, man, so we're accepting applications at this moment. You will make no more or less than minimum wage. You won't get no sick pay. You won't get no vacations. So at the moment, we're getting applications for all you American citizens that want to work in the fields. Look at this. We have plenty of work for you guys. The people have spoken. Come on, let's go. We're waiting for all you guys. Come on. Come and apply for me.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. As we all know, a lot of things is happening in America, especially to the white farmers, to the MAGA farmers. We have seen majority of MAGA's farmers, they are going bankrupt. We have seen majority of MAGA farmers, they are losing businesses. Majority of their workers, they are not showing up in the farms. Because of that, we have been seeing the crops, they are rotting in the farms, and they are now coming out, starting to beg black people to come and help them. But we have seen that white farmers are confused and furious because black Americans, they are silent. So black Americans, they have been staying silent for all this long. So majority of white farmers, they are confused to why black people, they are not coming out and talking about what it is happening, or why are black people not joining them. Because black people, they have come out and tell them that we black people, we warn you not to vote against racism. We warn you not to vote against this administration. But the MAGA people, the white farmers, they didn't listen. So right now, they are confused. Why are black people not helping them? So kindly, guys, I want you to watch this compilation of video from black people coming out and send a message to the MAGA people. Then I'll be back with more comment. All credits goes to the original creator of the video. And kindly remember, this video, it is only for educational purposes. Remember to give a video a thumbs up. I'm your host, Dash Lifestyle.
Hey, one more thing about that farm thing. Those farmers complaining about how the Trump's trade war is hurting farms. And not just China, even though China no longer buys U.S. beef, that's gone to Brazil. They no longer buy U.S. soybeans. They don't buy a bunch of other agricultural products from us because they can source them elsewhere. And these farmers are all over these apps whining and crying that they didn't think it would hurt them. And please, Mr. Trump, I voted for you 3 times, and all this kind of bootlicking kind of BS. The other thing about that is, like I said in my other video, excuse me, there's a particular relationship, black people and farms in this country, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. The other thing is, do you remember during the Biden-Harris administration, their administration worked out a settlement with black farmers to pay them back pay for excluding them from bailout money that they were entitled to. The money only went to white farmers, and so black farmers, that's the way it is in this country, had to sue to get their fair share. And after years of court wrangling in the courts and everything, it was finally settled and black farmers were going to get their due. Sorry, my allergies. And you know why they didn't get their due? Sorry about that. Because white farmers sued to block the government settlement that they had made with black farmers. And white farmers sued saying that the white farmers, were being discriminated against for not getting some of the black settlement money. The black settlement money was because only white farmers got some of the initial bailout money, not black farmers. That's how twisted it is. So to the white farmers online whining about loss of business, threats to having their farms shut down and shut off, I say fare thee well, good sirs. Fare thee well. You got what you got. You get what you get. You don't pitch a fit. You voted for Donald Trump, and you know what? He is working you over because the big conglomerates, some I hear are owned, I've read are owned by J.D. Vance or his companies, are about to buy up your land for pennies on the dollar. And you're going to be one picking those blueberries for $11 an hour, 7 days a week, for 10 hours a day. Literally, how you like them apples?
Oh yeah, here in North Dakota, we definitely are regretting our votes for Grandpa Tariff. Oh yeah, me and my husband run a seed farm up here, and Daddy runs a soybean farm. And the tariffs are hitting North Dakota harder than almost any other state. Yeah, we're really concerned about it. Last time Trump was president, we had to get a bailout, and we were hoping that this time it would be better. But I'm not seeing any signs that we're going to get spared this time around either. We had to pick up a couple pieces of steel in West Fargo yesterday, and we asked them if the tariffs had been affecting the prices yet, and they said just talking about the tariffs affects the price. You know, China will start going to Brazil and Africa for their soybeans, and then they'll establish relationships and we'll get completely cut out of the loop. Trump says it's short-term pain for long-term gain. So far in my life, I've never seen the tariffs do any gain for any of us farmers here in North Dakota. I'm not really even sure why we voted for him.
Donald Trump just said that if immigrant farmers get a bad back and can't do farm work, they die. He just said the quiet part out loud when backtracking his own immigration policy. Take a listen to what he said today. Quote, "We want to work with them. In some cases, we're sending them back to their country with a pass to come back legally. We can't let our farmers not have anybody. You know, these people, you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing this farm work. They're not doing the work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. Immigrants, however, do it naturally." I said, what happens if they get a bad back? Farmers said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. Once again, Donald Trump is saying the quiet part out loud. He knows that if he goes after undocumented migrants in the farming sector, he will destroy the economy and our agriculture industries. He knows that some of these undocumented migrants are so willing to work through pain and injury because if they report to their bosses that they're injured, they might get kicked out of the country and never be allowed to enter once again. So Donald Trump is once again backtracking his own immigration policy. Fortunately, this time it might actually be a good thing because he's not going to destroy the lives of so many hardworking people that are just trying to contribute to our economy and make a living.
I wanted to start off by saying I did vote for Donald Trump. We are possibly going to lose our farm if NRCS doesn't hold up their contract with us on the EQIP program. So the reason that they're not able to hold up the contract is our EQIP program, which is cost sharing on fences, waters, a well, and some seedings, was funded by the Inflation Reduction Act. Because of the executive orders, there's a pause or a freeze on the funding through the Inflation Reduction Act, and they're not able to pay out on the stuff that we completed or anything going forward. I'm not the only one this is affecting. So there are other farmers in the comments saying that they're in the same boat that I'm in because they signed these contracts, and the contracts, even like, because whenever I looked into the contract, I made sure that that funding was set aside. It wasn't funding that, oh, we hope it's there whenever it's done. I made sure that that funding was set aside so that way before I made these business decisions, I knew that funding was there per contract. So they're backing out on the contract because they don't have the funding. They can't release the funds.
Last night, I watched video after video of farmers who might lose their farms because the government is reneging on contracts they wrote with these farmers. Hi guys, my name's Will, your favorite rural campaign and elections expert, and let's talk about it. Now the problem is President Trump's order to freeze most federal grants and loans has created a panic and uncertainty within the agricultural sector, which relies on billions of dollars in direct government assistance for loans, disaster relief, and conservation practices, many of which have been around since the days of FDR, and farmers have begun to rely on them. Now, if you've watched the news at all, you know that a federal judge blocked the order on Tuesday. The problem is, and what the media isn't telling you, is that farmers and ranchers over the last week to 10 days have begun to receive letters telling them that the government may not be able to live up to the promises they made in these signed contracts with farmers and ranchers to improve conservation and increase productivity on the farm. Sadly, I watched one cattle farmer video last night in the state of Missouri where he said that he's going to fall $80,000 short in funding because the government promised him that if he and his family invested in good conservation practices, they would support his efforts with grants and loans. He received a letter in the past 10 days telling him that they couldn't keep their promise even though they have a signed contract. And as a direct result, he's going to fall $80,000 short on his spring loan payment. And the only option he has right now is to sell his cattle. And he needs those cattle because those cattle are going to have calves, and he needs those calves to pay his fall payment.
U.S. farmers are starting to regret their vote for Trump. From beekeepers to soybean to hay producers, all of them are starting to say, I never thought that voting for Trump 3 times would result in me losing tens of thousands of dollars. A beekeeper out of North Carolina says, yeah, I proudly voted for Trump all 3 times. I flew flags for him and put signs for him in the yard. But now I'm out tens of thousands of dollars due to lost federal funding and tariffs, so I cannot export my products, my honey and my wax, to other countries like I could before, and nobody's buying it in the United States. Hay producers in Idaho and Utah that export alfalfa hay to China are now seeing 135% tariffs put on their product, and all of a sudden, they don't have anywhere to ship it. They held it all winter in hopes of sending it off to China in the spring, and now China's not willing to buy. Soybean producers are once again being hit harder than they were in the first Trump administration, and China, for its part, has diversified where it pulls these products from, with Brazil becoming the #1 soybean exporter and other countries picking up the slack for honey, for beeswax, and for hay around the world. Now, China's doing a great job diversifying, and the United States has relied on exports to China for so long that its farmers are going to just continue to suffer. Once again, the majority of them voted for Trump, and now they're finding out.
Well, it's official. The United States Senate is dead. Last night, the U.S. Senate announced to the world that they are no longer an independent legislative body. They announced to the world that they are nothing but an appendage of the Trump White House. Nothing but a rubber stamp for whatever the hell he wants to do. Because last night they voted to confirm Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense. A guy who is the single most unqualified Secretary of Defense in our nation's history. And not only is he unqualified in terms of his lack of relevant professional experience, but he is also disqualified because of his loathsome personal behavior and horrendous character. This is a really bad guy, and it is exceedingly dangerous to put this man in charge of the Department of Defense. But these senators on the Republican side, except for 3, all voted to confirm this man, who they all know has no business being Secretary of Defense. And they did it for one reason: because they are cowards. They are afraid to do what is right because they are afraid of Donald Trump. They are afraid that Donald Trump can end their political career with a single tweet if they get on his bad side. Because the base of the Republican Party is a cult in service of one man, Donald Trump. And if they don't do what he wants, they know that their career could be over in a second.
Man, I tell you what, nothing makes racist white people more pissed off than me, a white person, trying to educate about racism and trying to educate about what white privilege is and all these things. And it's so funny because these same people will argue with me till they are blue in the face about how they're not racist and we don't live in a racist institution and black and brown people have it so easy and racism doesn't exist anymore. But then they will turn around and say the most racist, ignorant, vile shit you've ever heard in your life. The disconnect is amazing. And this is why I make content like this, because it's so important, because we do live in a racist institution and we are all raised in racism as white people. This is simply a fact. And the crazy part about it is every one of us knows this. Even the ones who will sit there and fight with me to the death about it and act like it doesn't exist. Y'all know white people are racist. Y'all know about the casual racism, the casual microaggressions that we are raised in, no matter where we live in this United States of America. And this is why I will never stop. I will never stop trying to educate as a white person about racism and how we need to learn. We need to evolve. We need to do better. It's almost as if they feel like admitting to a racist institution or admitting to racism makes them this evil, terrible person. And so they would rather double down than to grow and be a good person. And that's so bad, because all that says to me is that you have a small mind and a cowardly soul. And I wish better for you than that, truly, because everything in your life will get better when you stop being so ignorant.
MAGA, you do realize that the Republican Party, including Donald Trump, are using you. You see, as a Democrat, we've been used as well. For the past 60 years, the Democratic Party has used black people to push their liberal agenda. Now, that is me saying that I agree with you in principle, but I disagree with you when you vote against your own interests, and you see the results of your actions that you took this past November at the ballot box. You see that what is happening in Texas, it's not an anomaly. That is something that happened because of the failures of politicians that put money first. You see, children are dead. It doesn't matter the color of the children. Children are dead. And they are dead because of racism, hatred, and bigotry. They are dead because white folks voted against their own interests. They voted to gut programs that helps them out. Go figure. You see, both political parties, and this is coming from a Democrat, both of them has taken advantage of the poor and the indigent people. They are going to cause you to fight your brothers and sisters in the streets of this country, shed blood. The elites are. They are setting everything in motion, upsetting you, putting you in a place that you're going to have to make a decision here shortly to kill your brothers and your sisters, all while fighting against your best interests. You guys have a nice day.
There's a whole lot of white people who are now upset that they voted for Trump. So I just want to point out this lesson and thing we do in the black community where we say all skin folk and kin folk. Y'all voted for that man because he's white and you didn't want to see a black woman become the president. And now you see all skin folk ain't kin folk. I don't feel sorry for y'all at all.
These Democrats really are in a panic over this Texas redistricting line drawing thing that is going on right now. There's a special session. The Texas legislature has been called back in so that this issue can be addressed, because they have been padding the voter rolls for years, and they know they've been doing it. The liberals, the Democrats, are so unpopular, there is no way they could win an election with their far leftist ideology. No way. No way. So they're padding the voter rolls. That's what they've been doing, and they've gotten used to it, and it's being threatened now because of the redistricting and redrawing these lines, and perhaps even redoing a census at 5 years instead of waiting the 10 years, because it's so bad and so much fraud has been found that it is time to address this and not let it sit and fester and become a cancer like it has been. That's how these capable, stupid people keep getting reinstalled into these positions. They don't know their job. All they do is steal our money and make themselves rich while their constituents suffer. So, this is why Jasmine Crockett in the 30th District in Texas is panicking. This is why she's done called in, Raphael Warnock, who is starting this John Lewis Voting Rights Act, or John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. It's really stupid. John Lewis was a porch Negro who danced on the plantation for massa, and nobody misses him. Bye. Burning in hell, asshole. And now you've got Raphael Warnock, this fake ass preacher who he's supposedly over the Ebenezer Baptist Church. Shut up. Go somewhere. You are an apostate. You don't represent God. You sold something that doesn't belong to you, which is the soul that God gave you when you were at inception. So whatever. You sold your soul to the devil. And now you're up here at this so-called event trying to tell people, do you know he's saying shit like this? Go look at it under, he posted it on X, and it's like 42 minutes. I had to skip through it because I can't listen to 40 minutes of Raphael Warnock, this chump and this loser, tap dancing for massa on that porch. I can't listen to him. He talks about the Medicaid and how, they're taking away your Medicaid, not mentioning Joe Biden kicking millions of people off Medicaid back in 2022, 2023 during...
I know you told me you voted for President Trump. What were you hoping that he would do?
I was hoping he would did something that made sense regarding the economy, made some kind of progress in bettering, the benefits of being a veteran.
Pray tell, what exactly were the plans that he had said he was going to put in place that had you so excited that he was going to take care of veterans? What was the indication he gave you from his first presidency? Particularly when in 2017, he froze federal agencies, which affected the VA for 79 days. What was the reason? To reduce government agencies through attrition, to make the government leaner and more efficient. That's it. No plan. Literally, remove workers and do not replace. Exactly how does that get you your benefits when there's no one there to help you? Not to mention his privatization push, which basically made VA care lower quality, fragmented, and weaker overall. Trump actually downplayed the severity of combat troops' TBIs, traumatic brain injuries that they suffered from, calling them headaches. And finally, something that you guys seem to be totally blind towards accepting is him calling fallen soldiers suckers and losers, to include prisoners of war like Senator John McCain. May he rest. Why do you think this man gives a fuck about you as a veteran? He has given no indication, in fact, the opposite, that he cares about veterans or doing anything for them.
I mean, it just seemed like he actually cared about doing what was best for the country, but now it just feels like all about me, Donald Trump, not...
Where have you been?
The guy out there working in the trenches, trying to make ends meet, trying to pay a mortgage, trying to pay the bills. It goes against everything I expected when, I voted for him.
So you're not satisfied with what he's saying?
No. And it doesn't even have to do with anything about me getting fired. I mean, if I had gotten fired as part of the, government, cutting government spending, I would have been fine with that. I can accept that.
Liar, liar, pants on fire, my little Pinocchio.
But he's not delivering on anything he said he was going to do.
What policies? Tell us. What specific policies were you so excited about? Because I don't remember a damn one that he proposed that made any fucking sense. You're not off the hook.
So what's your real game plan? It doesn't make sense to me.
There are some things that he promised to do that he that he has put in place? I mean, there are executive orders that he's done, that he said that he was going to do. You don't feel like he's lived up to those promises?
I mean, where are the results? I mean, seriously, prices are still going up.
I'm going to say this once more because people don't seem to understand. Number one, the president is not the single biggest factor that affects global and national prices. There are other factors. That is just one. Secondly, your inability to understand why prices go up and down goes to show that you don't fucking get why Donald Trump is terrible when it comes to the economy. You know, he's terrible when it comes to everything, but one disaster at a time.
We're now in the middle of a tariff war with a bunch of countries that used to be our steadfast allies. I mean, how do you make an enemy of Canada? You know, they're right next to us, and they've been one of our premier allies and commerce partners for, I mean, seriously, like what, centuries now?
And he did say that he was going to put tariffs in place. Did you just not think that they would be implemented in this particular way?
I didn't think they were going to be put in play in a juvenile way.
I think you could have just stopped at, I didn't think.
I mean, where was the attempt to actually talk to the heads of these other countries? Like, hey, you know, I feel you have unfair tariffs against our products. I'd like to talk about it first. And if we can't work out some kind of resolution, then I feel to protect our people, we need to implement this kind of tariff. There was no attempt at even talking to the other countries.
When has he ever played nice with anyone ever? In his last presidency or outside of it, during his campaigns, when has he ever played nice? When has he ever been professional? Name one instance. I can't with these people. Y'all made your bed. Now you can lie in it.
Well, I did it again, damn it. Went down that damn rabbit hole, and it was fun. Because I strolled down this hole of farmers that are mad because they're about to lose their farm. Because that federal grant money hasn't shown up yet. And they don't know what to do. And all of them crying. But damn it, in every freaking video, all of them, and I mean all of them, except for maybe one or two, all of them voted for Trump. So why are you complaining is my question. You voted for this. You asked for this stupidity. You complaining that you're about to lose your farm because you voted for a man who told you what he was going to do. But that's your freaking fault. Because you voted for your whiteness instead of voting your heart. Because you didn't want to see that black lady in office. So you voted for that white man. And you knew he was a crook. You knew he was a thief. You knew he was going to do all the dumb shit because you've seen it before. But you mad because you're about to lose your farm. Some of them crying. This land been in my family forever. Yeah. Because it was given to you a long, long time ago. And I ain't crying. And I ain't mad. And I don't care. Because that's what you get for voting for your whiteness. You voted for your whiteness instead of voting for the proper person that you knew was good for that job. But you wanted that man in office that bad. You didn't want her in office. You can't say you voted for the lesser of two evils. You voted his color, not his character. And before we get off of this, y'all know what to do. Hit the heart, share the video, do what we do. This TikTok, baby. You knew better, but you did it. See, this land that y'all got for free, that's been passed down through the generations, that we didn't get our 40 acres of the mule. So why are we gonna be mad because you about to lose yours? This is by design. All of those corporations are buying up farmland across the freaking country. This is on purpose. But you've yet to realize that. Kamala had you saved. The money was appropriated. It was there. But you had to vote for Trump. You knew what he was. You knew what kind of guy he is. But you voted your color. And you thought you was going to get that privilege. But now you understand. If you ain't worth 7, 8 figures, he don't give a shit about you. Or your cousin, or your sister, your auntie. Nobody. Now you look like me to him. Because you ain't got it like that. So, I'm sorry you're about to lose your land. But I really don't give a damn. Because you knew better. All of you. But you wanted to vote for your privilege and your color instead of who was deserving and who was better. So blame yourself. Blame your neighbor. Blame the people down the street. It ain't our fault. It's on you.
So the farmers in America, they lost all their workers because they got deported. And then they voted for Trump. They voted for Trump. And then they lost a lot of the grants because this guy Musk has been, cleaning out and he's taking from the poor. The farmers can't pay their bills. They're having to sell. They're having to sell. And J.D. Vance set up a company so that he could buy farms. They're buying all the farms in America, just like they did with all the private houses. Oh, you guys are so smart. You're brilliant. You can't make this. Okay, I have positive news. Here's the positive news. Decades of proud ignorance that you've had is coming to an end. Jesus.
So guys, I hope you have watched that video and you have seen how black people, they have come out and send a message to the white farmers, to the MAGA farmers, because the MAGA farmers, they are confused why black people, they have stayed silent. But the black people, they have come out and send a warning and telling them that we were the first people, we were the first race, we were the first community to tell you guys not to vote for this administration. But you guys, you saw that this administration policy will only punish black people, will only punish the immigrant people, and you thought that this policy will not punish you guys. So you went ahead and vote against your own interest. You went ahead and vote for so that these other people can be punished. But God, he has come through for black people. Also, the same punishment that you voted so that black people can be punished, it is also punishing you guys. And these people right now, they have come out and starting to beg the black people to join them, to help them, because they are going through a lot. But the black people, they have relaxed, they have stayed silent because they want these people to feel exactly what black people, they have been feeling for years. Whatever these people, they are going through right now, it is or black people, they have been going this for so many years, and black people, they are now used to it. So these people, these people that are going through these challenges in this short period, now they are coming out and crying. So black people, they have come out and sent a message, because black people, they saw that these people, they are racist, because for a very long time, these people, they have been voting so that black people can be punished. Whenever these people, they are seeing black people, they are thriving. Whenever they are seeing black people, they are becoming successful in America. These people that have been going against that. They don't want to see black people succeeding. They don't want to see black people becoming together in America, and that's why they have been voting so that black people can be punished for all this long. So right now, God of Black, he has come through, and he is also punishing these MAGA people because of they did a wrong mistake of voting for this administration. So guys, I want to read some of the comments that majority of black people also they have come out and share in the comment section. And also guys, you can share your thoughts on the comment section. I'll be reading, and also we'll be educating each other. I've already tell you that this video is only for educational purposes. We are here to learn. So kindly guys, let me read some of the comments so that we can also continue with seeing how the black people that are sending a message to the MAGA people. There's this one saying that nobody should suffer the consequences of voting for Trump more than the people who voted for Trump. So this one is saying that for those people who voted for Donald Trump, they're the one who needs to be punished very hard, but not others who they didn't vote. So these people, whatever they are going through, it is them, they punish themselves. These people, they thought that they are punishing black people, but it is coming to them. So this one is saying that I don't feel sorry because they will vote for him again if they get the chance. Yeah, so these people are saying that he doesn't feel sorry because these people, they have been voting against their own interests for so many years. They've been voting against racism for so many years. So if also they will have a chance again, they will just vote for Donald Trump. They will not care. They will not care about the others. What they usually care, it is their own interest, but not the Americans' interest. They care about white interest, but not Americans' interest. So this one is saying that they aren't confused. They knew he was evil. Lived with it. So these people, they are saying that these people, they were not confused. They knew he was evil. So they knew Donald Trump, he was evil, and right now they are living with it. So why are they now coming out and cry? So these people, they need to stop crying. Black folks, stand down. Stand down. This isn't our fight. We are not going to the field. Thank you, and thank you, ancestor. So black people, they have refused to go to the field. So this one is saying that it's too late to regret your vote. You are 3 years too late. Don't regret your vote now when you are being your farm. That's one stolen land anyway. So this one is saying that these people, they should not regret for what is happening right now, because also the Americans, the American land, it was stolen. So these people, they stole the land. So why are they crying? And I'm so wondering, how comes these people, they are deporting the migrant back to their country, and yet we all know that America, it is a stolen land, and these people, they were a Europe reject. Yeah, so they usually say that these people who are in America, the white people who are in America, they were a Europe reject, and now they came in America and they stole the land. And right now we are seeing them, they are deporting people back to their country, and yet the land, they are not the full owner of the land. So this one is saying that Trump is spending that money traveling to this Gulf resort every weekend, also with increasing ICE $150,000 sign-up bonus, including first year's salary to get rid of their farm workers. Wow. So this one saying that last time we had to get a ballot. We hope this time will be better. Imagine that. So these people, they thought that this time it will be better, but things have turned out to be different. They don't regret nothing. Too little, too late. Look what your hate got you. So these people, they are saying that what right now these people, they are going through it is because they hated other people. So this hate, it has also come to them. So they vote against racism, and we are seeing right now they are now seeing that racism, it is really expensive, because we have seen the farmers, they have the workers, they have refused to show up in the white farmers, in the MAGA farmers, and it has made the MAGA farmers to go losses, to go majority of them, they are going bankrupt, and also majority of them, they cannot even right now afford basic necessities. You vote for Trump, what did you think he was going to do? Blank as tires. This is exactly the problem. They voted on emotion, not a policy or fact, and that's emotional was harded. Racism is expensive. I've been telling you that racism is expensive. Someone here is reminding them that racism is expensive. My fellow citizen, the rise of this mysterious man bewildering the educated among us, conjoin opposing politicians, agonize our international allies, threaten minorities, spit on the disabled, and touches the heart of those who just don't know any better. Let us stop propounding how mad this all is, but instead do something. So this one is saying that these people, they need to wake up and do something. They should regret their vote. Those of us regret the repercussion of their vote, are suffering from their racism and hatred. So white farmers couldn't survive without government aid and cheap labor. So this one is saying, yeah, that one, it is exactly. White farmers, they couldn't survive without government aid and cheap labor. So, you know, the people have been helping so much, these white farmers, they are immigrant. And right now, these people, they voted so that the immigrant can be deported. And right now it is coming into reality, saying that the white farmers, they are a bit lazy, because they've been depending to the cheap labors, they have been depending to the government aid. So right now all of that, it is gone, and they are really crying because of the action for what they voted for. So let me just read also another. They will still vote Republican. So this one is saying that if these people, they will get a chance, they will continue voting Republicans. No one over accused MAGA of being smart. So do you notice it's nothing that actually goes into our actual groceries store, all export farming. Yeah, I will never forgive Trump voters. This one is saying that he will never forgive Trump voters. Okay, the last black female is so lost and full of hate. I don't believe she loves herself. She's saying a lot of false statement, and she doesn't make sense. Why did you? Oh, so this one is saying that is making a comment from what the other lady she has said. Why regret your vote now? That's what you wanted. You didn't want Kamala. Now you regret it. By you get what you pay for. Yeah, so kindly guys, you can also share your thoughts on the comment section. Tell me, what do you feel are I think God of Black is answering prayers of black people, because black people that have been going this for a very long time, and right now it is the time that also these other people go through and see what black people that have been going through. So kindly guys, remember to give a video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. See you on my next one. Bye bye.